Hi guys, so a little information video today. So a lovely lady commented on one of my videos yesterday asking about rubber base gel and if you could use that to build up your nails. So I was thinking about it and then I realised how much of them I actually had in my drawers that I actually stopped using when I got the builder gel, which is actually a shame because rubber base gel actually has a hell of a lot of uses. So I thought I'd show you just a few of the ones I have from different companies and what I used to use them for. Now they all come with different textures, different cure times, all sorts of things. So one of the first ones I ever used was actually Premier Gel. I don't have any bottles of that anymore. But I do believe the second one I ever bought was this one from Glitterama. It is now EL Nail Systems, so it's definitely an old bottle. But I just thought I'd give you a show. So this one is a clear one, and I know my camera angle is terrible for this. But can you see how thick that is? Look, it's not dropped off yet. It's just sitting there. That is a brilliant one for building your nail. I think I'll probably show you with one of the coloured ones. But really, really good. I'll leave those two till last because they're technically different. So Aviva progel, I have two by these, and as you can see, these both say Pro Shield on them. So they do progel, which is gel. They do Pro Shield, which is like a rubber base, which also comes in colours. And they do a Pro Build, which is like a builder gel. So I'll just show you the two I have in colours. So I got quite a decent length. No, not length. Yeah, length. We'll go for length of time with this. Fairly decent texture, and it comes in colours, which I love. Viva Pro Gel are also cruelty free. So what I normally do for these, they're also HEMA free and vegan, so I put a thin layer on like this, which I will just give a cure to save on time while that's curing. I'll put the other one on. Now this is one of my favorites. Look at this. I actually forgot I had this until that lady messaged. Now as you can see, this one is a lot thicker. It's staying stood up on its brush. This one is full of multicoloured little foil flecks, and it's an absolute beauty. And I'll pop that one in as well. So you can build with builder gel, which is one of my favourite things to do. You can put it underneath a layer of polish to give that added strength. So rubber builder gel or rubber base is brilliant for people with slightly flexible, and you like bendy on the, I can't show you on mine because they've got builder on them, and slightly flexible on the edges nails, you know. So like normally if you have like acrylic or hard gel on and it comes away from your nails, it's generally because your nails are flexing. Okay, so I put another layer on that, and then these need a good mix. They've been sat in the jar. And then I just run a line right down the middle of the nail. And that usually self-levels out absolutely brilliantly. Probably a bad example with that particular one because, as I said, they've been sat in a drawer, so they've not had a good stir. An orange wood stick is a brilliant way to mix that up. What was I saying? Knickers. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, they're for flexible nails. So the rubber base will flex with your nails and it will hang in there no matter how bendy and flexible they are, because that's the point, it's rubber, it's bendy. So it's a brilliant way to protect your nails while you have, you know, while you're growing them out if you're not wearing extensions or anything else. But it's also a good way to add longevity to a manicure. So if you are somebody personally, because you do your own nails, or you have a client whose gel polish just does not matter what you do, there's lifting and there's chipping, rubber base is a great thing to have underneath it, because I swear that thing acts like a super glue. It really does. And it allows that gel to again move with your nail, but it bonds with it really, really well. So your gel polish will generally last a lot longer. Now you can also get rubber top coats, so you can sandwich that in right there. I also like to, if I have a really, really nice design, or especially if I put glitter on a nail, and you know it's like slightly bumpy or slightly raised, I like to put a nice big blob of rubber base on, run it across, you know, like you would with a builder or a hard gel, and then flip it, you know, so it gets that beautiful slopey apex. It also masks all the bumps and it fills in the holes from the glitter, and then you pop it up the right way and shove it in that lamp. An awesome sauce. And then you just want to rub off that tacky layer, because a rubber base generally has quite a tacky layer, and then top coat. So the next ones I have for you, I have quite a lot of bottles, and they're quite a mess because they have been sat in a beauty box, but these are CJP's Rubber It. Let me just, can I scoop you in? Scoop you in, there we go. And they have quite a lot of shades. So I have Act Natural, Love Letter, Porcelain. That's a white one that's really, really good for ombres and milk nails. There's Flirt. We have Cheeky. I have 2 bottles of Flirt. Just the Rubber It is a plain one. Then I have another Cheeky. So some of these I actually have 2s of. So as you can see, that's slightly runnier texture than the last one, even though I'm giving you an absolutely terrible camera angle. But I will see if I can show you some of the colours. I should have really thought to give it a stir first. But they brought these out a couple of years ago. And they're created to build with, not necessarily an extension, because they are not a builder gel. CJP do. So this is Act Natural. CJP do a builder called Bob, but these were to add strength to the natural nail. Let me take those other 2 out of that lamp. So, but yeah, these were created to add strength to the natural nail. And I got some really, really good longevity out of these. Looking at them now, I actually don't know why I ever stopped actually using them, to truth be told. I think it was just because I ended up with a bunch of the builder gels. But yeah, a lot of uses. So rubber bases are also easier to come by, especially for those people that aren't fully qualified, so can't always access the professional sites. I am fully qualified, so I don't have that issue. But when I was first training, I really did have that issue. A lot of people wanted certificates. One brand I looked at wanted proof of insurance. Because a lot of the companies are getting stricter, you know, with the rules. But you can even do, oh, I remember this one. This one's beautiful. It has shimmer in it. You can even do raised line work with the builder gel, providing it is a thicker one and not a thinner one. And you flash cure after every line, you know, kind of like you would a gel polish. But in summer, when you see, you know, like the shell nails and the mermaid nails with the lines down, you can do that with a builder gel. You absolutely can. Let me find my, there we are. And let me toss that way so they can all do. I will show you with, I'll show you with that in a minute. The last two I wanted to show you are Brush on Luxe and Lecente, and I'm showing you them last because they're a bit of everything. So the Build It's Your 5-in-1 is Soak Off, and it's a multifunction builder, which means not only can you build with it, it also acts as a rubber base. So you could use it as a base under polish, you could do a thin layer to strengthen your nails, or you could build with it like a builder gel. This is Pampas Blush. I love this. It's a 60-second cure. This one is vegan and hemo-free. But I'll do you a tester of that one as well, because it really is a stunning colour. Let me pop those out of my lamps. I'm showing you these last, not because they're my least favourite. These are actually my most recent purchases, but because they're technically a mix of rubber and builder. So, however, these last two, you do not need, you don't currently need, as I'm filming this, certificates to buy these. They are a lot more accessible, but do not let that fool you into thinking they are not good products, because they most definitely are. Brush on Luxe do some of my most favourite gel polishes. They are not listed as one coats, but by God do they go on with one coat. And they do some of the most beautiful shades. Now, this one is called Free. And I actually got this in a nail mail box. Left it alone in a drawer for ages. Finally tried it to be like, oh my God, something's actually sticking to my nails and staying there. I actually got to do an infill. So this one is a rubber base with added fibres and a builder. So this is an all-arounder also, but this has fibres in, like a fibre gel. So this stuff sticks. Can be a bit of a dick to remove, but it sticks. So I don't know if you can see in the camera, but when it goes on the nail, it's kind of lumpy bumpy. And that is the tiny little fibres in that pot. Let me see if I can get you a good scoop so you can see. So I naturally went on their website and ordered a couple more shades. And what I found with this is it self-levels stunningly. You don't need a lot of faff. Doesn't need filing, although I personally like to finish file, just so I get crisper edges. And as you know, when gel cooks, it shrinks back slightly. So the best thing I find is to file around the edges of your nails, so you don't, there you go, see, perfectly leveled. So I like to file around the edges of my nails, because otherwise sometimes you get like a really tiny 0.5 millimeter at the edge that has no gel on it, and then you get picky. And when you get picky, you screw up your nails. So let's have a look. And I'll do it on one of these, so hopefully you can see it. I will draw you some lines and we'll see what we get. I finally got rid of all my little pink nail swipes, and I am now on to the wax strips I've been cutting up. Finally, I bought them like ages ago. A money saving tip there. So the wax strips you can get for leg waxing. You can get them really, really cheap in big packs on eBay, Amazon and everywhere else. Perfect for lint-free nail wipes because they actually are lint-free. There's no lint on there. So you just cut them to the size you want and off you pop. Now to make my life easier, yep, I have my little pink torch that I got off Temu. Love that goddamn place. So, obviously there's no pretty design on this one. But you would get a ball, pull in your line, and then we'll just flash cure that little piggy so he doesn't go anywhere. 10 seconds generally does it, and then you can move on to the next one. Just make sure you give that a full cure at the end. But you can go in again, get your line. That was a very wonky one. That was kind of a very sad line. And we'll give that a couple of seconds. Okay, there we go. But my point is, ouch, you have your raised lines there, can you see? Only slightly, but definitely raised. So it's another use for builder gel. But my honest favourite, I've lost my nail wipe. My honest favourite was always to do a layer of builder gel. I just used to call it a sandwich in my head. So I would do a layer of builder gel. I would do my gel polish. And I'd make sure it was only a thin layer of builder gel. Do a layer of gel polish. Do a design if I was having a design. And if I wasn't having a design, then I would go back over with another layer of builder gel, and I would either excuse me, I would either build an apex, so we had, you know, kind of like this, so it had some volume to it, and then I would wipe the tacky layer and top coat, or I would just go straight in with a thin layer, wipe it and then top coat. And I found that the builder gel sandwich, as I called it, made my manicures on my clients last a hell of a lot longer. I have seen some of the Japanese and Korean nail techs do it. They call it a structured manicure. I've seen them actually do it with like a builder gel or like a semi-hard gel. I think the most popular one is like a Jinbei top coat, crazy top, and it's like really, really thick, so it's almost got the texture of like a hard gel. But it's like a top coat, and they build structure with that after the fact, and that makes their manicures last longer as well. And it's the same way that I used to use the builder gel. But there definitely are a lot on the market, and they're definitely worth looking at. So this one is a UK brand. I believe they ship everywhere, and that was Pampers Blush. These come in a ton of different shades, including clear. So this one is a mix of everything. You have the Lecente Fusions. It's Fusions you want. It's listed as a builder gel, but it has rubber in it as well, and the fibres. If you are wanting a really good clear one, it's EL Nail Systems now. It's nice and thick, it's HEMA free, and I have used it for years. I use it for capping glitters, capping foils, capping decors. They're also brilliant if you use nail stickers to put a layer of this over to seal those in and seal in any lines, because sometimes if you have a thin top coat, I don't know, it gets in the edges. My daughter used to pick hers off and do my nutting. I'd spend so long making pretty nails, and she'd be like, oh, this one's damaged, so I pulled it off. I'm like, no, you picked it in the first place. But once the rubber base gel went on, it stopped. So you have Aviva Progel, also a UK company, and the ones you want for them for the rubber gels, which also come in a multitude of different colours, even different more sparkles like these. So these are rubber bases, and these are Hema, good lord, Hema free and vegan. So that is Aviva progel, and you want the Pro Shields from that range. And I believe you need certificates now to buy from them, but if you do, you want the Rubber It by CJP. They do bobs, but those are builders. So if you're looking for rubber gels with colour that can add function, you want the Rubber It's. And that one, and that one, and that's a one, I do believe. We'll show you those two. So these two are two of the Rubber It's from CJP. That is your porcelain, which is brilliant for a milk bath nail. And that is the cheeky. But yes, hope that helps anybody that was curious about Builder Gel. I ramble a bit, so if I have missed any questions that you would like answers to, please do not hesitate to leave a comment. I always answer to my comments. And I have no problem answering questions. There are never ever any stupid questions when it comes to nails. It's constantly evolving and people are constantly learning. And if you don't ask, you never know. And I am more than happy to help anybody out there that has questions to ask. So if I have missed anything with the Builder Gel, being the rambling numpty I can be, leave a comment with your question and I will get back to you. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope I've helped some of you out there. There are obviously a ton of other brands for Builder Gel. Not for, good lord, for rubber-based gels. These are just the ones I currently have, and it was actually fun to get them out again. I am going to have a play with some of these. It's a shame they've actually been sat back in my drawer for so long. So thank you very much for that. And thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you have made it through to the end. And hopefully I see you again for some more videos. Bye, guys.